guys, of course, there's been a lot of chatter regarding the presidential candidates. Again, we got a big decision coming up in November. They interviewed Dana White, and I don't know. The title of this video leads me to believe that they didn't know that Dana White was a person that completely speaks his mind anytime he's asked about anything. He's his own boss, so why wouldn't he? So we're talking about lower coats. Let's find out what exactly is making this video trend everywhere and why Dana White is under a little bit of fire from the other sides right now, from both sides right now. Let's see.
I think people expected it to get nasty now that there is a new head of that Democratic ticket. It's the Vice President, Kamala Harris. You know, you have joked before that politics is way nastier than sports or the UFC. But what we're seeing, I mean, there's a labeling of the Vice President as a DEI hire. You yourself have prided yourself on giving both men and women opportunities at your organization. What do you think of this message that attacks the race and gender of an opponent?
Yeah, I don't judge people by their politics and you know, who they vote for or any of that stuff. And listen, I don't know Kamala. She seems like she's a nice person. You know, I have nothing against her whatsoever. And like I said, I'm not political. But do I think that she is fit for the job? I do not, personally.
But it's not necessarily about the policy. It's the approach to attacking one. I mean, I know that you are very well versed in what it's like to have a matchup, and people are going to go at each other for the sake of the sport and entertainment. But when it comes to attacks, particularly, I mean, there was that quote from JD Vance, who is his running mate, talking about childless cat ladies. I mean, these are not things that are in line with enveloping perhaps women into the fold, which is something you have always stood for, you say, in your sport. Why shouldn't that be the same in politics?
Yeah, well, listen, politics are the most disgusting, nasty. It's atrocious what is said in politics, and the things that are being said on one side are being said on the other side too, about Trump and about you know, his choice for vice president. It goes both ways. This isn't like, oh my God, look what's being said about Kamala. It goes both ways. They're both saying it. And like you said, it's already heated up and gotten nasty. And like you said earlier, it's only going to get nastier. That's politics. It is what it is. And it definitely goes both ways.
I don't know that it's going both ways to have the childless cat lady comment or a DEI hire. Who's calling you think that Vice President Kamala Harris is calling JD Vance a DEI hire, Dana? Come on.
But either way, she's going to say other nasty stuff about both of them. It goes both ways. And as vote
in a lot of ways, he's right, because when we see these races really get down to it, especially just a couple months right before the election, that's when all of these things start to come out. That's when people really start talking grimy, and they say a lot of things. The comment that JD Vance made about the cat ladies, I need to go back and look at that and find out exactly what he was referring to. I saw that in the headline the other day, and I didn't hear it all, so I didn't know exactly what he was referring to. But calling somebody a DEI hire, if you think about it, it really does take away all qualifications, because that's just saying that you got the job based on the color of your skin because of, or whatever, but not because you were qualified for the job, not because you had political experience. That's something that I know a lot of people they're not going to agree with. They're not going to agree with that. But what he's saying on the other side of things is right. There is things that come out on both sides where they say this person this. Politics.
But either way, she's going to say other nasty stuff about both of them. It goes both ways. And as voters, what we need to do is cut through all the BS, and you have to look at who do you think is best fit to run the country for the next 4 years. That is our job as voters.
That's right.
All of this stuff is a bunch of nasty BS, all of it. Who's best fit to run the country? You as a voter, that's what you need to decide. Not, oh my God, he said this, and oh my God, she said that. There's going to be a lot of that over the next several months. Cut through, and especially the media. Cut through all the BS that the media on both sides. You guys are really bad. Fox is bad. Everybody's bad. Cut through the BS and vote for who you think is the most fit to run the country. That's our job as voters.
Well, look, I don't wear pearls. I don't pretend to clutch them and pretend that I'm shocked by every nasty insult that is waged against another person. But I think your point, though, about the American people wanting to know who's best for the country, this is the issue. When people are focusing not on policy positions, but personal attacks that have nothing to do with what voters want to hear about, that detracts from the experience of voters making a decision, and that's the problem. And I'm going to just know when you say you guys are terrible, you clearly don't mean Laura Coates.
I want to hear the rest of that, and I want him to go more in depth. That is not what I was thinking that I would hear. I think a lot of that is just everything he said. And when it comes to the decision that we have to make and what the person that we want to pick, that is the meat and bones of everything that he really had to say. When it comes to that stuff, he didn't say anything that was inaccurate. Basically, all he said was, listen to what both people are saying, regardless of what personal attacks you may here and there, and make your decision when you go into that voting booth in November. I'm here to be on in the neutral side, because I do want to hear what both people have to say, you know, regardless of some of the things that they might say, some of the buzzwords they may use or terms and things like that. Let's find out what it really is, what's really going to happen in November, and what's really going to happen after November and the 4 years following this year. Let's listen. So, guys, this is on your job as voters to get registered to vote if you're not already, and listen to both candidates. Listen to both vice presidential picks. We know we got J.D. Vance. Kamala Harris's pick is coming after or during the Democratic National Convention that's happening next week. So we got a job to do here. Guys, go ahead and do that. Let me know what you thought about this one in the comments, and let's have a discussion about this, and I'll see you in the next one.